Tēnā koutou katoa, tuarua ki ngā mate, haere, haere, haere atura. E mihi ana te mana whenua o ngā te toa me taranaki whānui. Kia tātou e tau nei kia ora. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Kia ora and welcome to Creative Mornings, our final event for the year. Yes, I know it's November, but we don't do a December event in Wellington because nobody is here. If my voice starts to give up as we go, I'm sorry, I'm going to throw it to clear as we go, but I'm doing all right for the moment. Wrong way. Well, right, back. Hey. So, if you've never been to Creative Mornings before, every single month we have a global theme. So, all around the world, people are doing talks about this theme, or to this theme. So I'll get Claire up here, who is my wonderful co-host, to give us a quick synopsis on Thread. Ready to stand behind. Toast.
Thread. Have you ever pulled on a loose thread in a sweater or a sock? Things can unravel quickly. The creative process can also feel like that. A nagging thought, an imperfect part, or a big tangled mess. But maybe that thread is trying to tell you something. Follow it and see where it takes you. Because thread is both a physical and metaphorical tool of creativity. In film and literature, a thread is the progression of a plot line or theme that helps tie the narrative together. While in sewing, weaving, embroidery and knitting, the thread physically embellishes and holds that piece together. No wonder a loose thread is so hard to ignore. It turns out that all the good and bad in your life is forming a beautiful tapestry.
Yay. Very beautiful. And this wonderful illustration is by Carla D. So you can check out her stuff on social media, on Instagram.
Whereabouts in the world? Sorry.
Whereabouts in the world is Carla D?
Derby.
Derby.
UK, I think.
There we go. We have a Derby jack.
Possibly.
No, I think I think you're right. Big shout out to Adobe. So as of this month, Adobe has come on as our global sponsor, which is really big news. We used to have MailChimp, if you remember me being like, MailChimp! Now it's Adobe! So, can I ask everyone that feels comfortable to come up, and I just want us all to do this in front of the screen so that Jack can take a photo so that we can share it with our global network. Come on up! Yay, Adobe! Who uses Adobe like every work day?
I'll maybe look at that. My daughter's looking for it again. Have you got enough room?
Yep, I've got enough room. I just need to sit on one side.
Are we sort of in there, Jack?
Yeah, left side, you want to try and
Scooch on it.
Cuddle a bit closer.
Shovel.
perfect.
Whether you
Lucy, do you want to be in this? Jack needs a chair. Get down there, Lucy. Get down there.
the front. Be our,
Perfect, and ready, 3, 2, 1.
Adobe!
One more.
Adobe! Easy. Thank you so much.
Legend.
There we go. There's your interaction for the morning.
Thank you very much. You're very welcome.
I know,
It's good. It's good for you. Good for you.
Wake us up.
Wake you up in the morning. Get the blood pumping. Thank you for humouring me. I love you all. Yeah, cool. Thanks, Adobe. You do great stuff. I use you every work day. And a reminder for those folks who are going to be super sad to not have a December event, you can jump on field trips. And so field trips are online kind of like mini workshops and talks that you can access from around the world, hosted by cool creative folks all over the place. Felt like that was almost a clap starting. I was like, okay. Cool, and a wonderful shout out to our sponsors as usual. 6 Barrel Soda for the fantastic gift for Pam today. Libertine Blends for tea, and Supreme for our coffee. All Good Oat Milk for delicious oat milk. And then we've got Colourcraft for our labels. Bad Baker for our breakfast cookies, 40 Thieves for peanut butter, and the wonderful Dough Bakery has come on today for all that delicious assortment of different breads we've got.
Yeah.
Did anyone have a particular favourite, or was it hard to tell what was what once they were all toasted up? All tasted good to you? Nice.
Yeah.
We're hoping to get them on as an ongoing sponsor. So, wonderful 257 for this gorgeous space. Although we are leaving it shortly for a tour, not permanently. Yeah. Thank you to Jack who's taking still shots today, and thank you to Andy who's on the video today. He's going to also escort you on the tour with the gimbal and an iPhone to film that stuff. Ethan couldn't make it today, he's having a super busy month, but he usually helps us out with video as well. And also my amazing volunteers on breakfast this morning. Shout out to you folks for making us coffee and toast. And shout out to Claire, my co-host here. And who else is in the audience? I think that's it today. Yeah, cool. And Faye, who's drawing today for us. Back on the tablet. Woo! Follow us on the things. I talk to people on Instagram, that's all I do. But follow us on X and Facebook and LinkedIn. And without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to Pam to give a quick introduction.
Cool. Hi guys. I will just give you a very quick spiel before we head off on our tour. So Nisa is just down the road. For those of you that haven't heard of Nisa before, Nisa is a underwear, swimwear and activewear manufacturer that was
I'm wearing, it's fine.
We've got some people in the audience repping at the moment. We won't.
Yeah, show you them. It's a great bra.
So Nisa was founded in 2017, and it was set up to provide employment to women from refugee and migrant backgrounds and help get them into work. So it was a really cool initiative that was set up then, and unfortunately the business was closed down in the middle of 2023, which was a really very sad time for us all. I've been working at Nisa since 2018 as the production manager, and I had this blind faith that someone would come in and buy the business, because not only does it make amazing products, not only does it support an awesome community, not only is it a great business, but Wellington really, really, I think, needs it. It's a very important part of the community. And so I had this blind faith that someone would come in and rescue us and buy the business because it was up for sale, and unfortunately that didn't happen. So in our close down sale, it went so spectacularly, and we sold about 18 months worth of stock in 6 weeks.
Whoa.
Which was incredible. It was absolutely mind-blowing, and that really allowed Alicia, who was the former owner, to ask the staff if we would like to take it forward. So I led the charge on that, and I phoned a couple of friends, we got together, we ran a very successful Pledge Me campaign, and we managed to reopen after being closed for about a month and a half. So we're back up and running. So if you would all like to grab your things, and we'll head down the road and I'll take you on a tour through the business. welcome everyone. Thank you all for coming down for a tour. We don't have any staff working today because we start later on a Friday anyway, but we also today is a big day for Nisa. We are going on our inaugural Christmas camping extravaganza. So we've got 35 adults and kids, and we're taking everyone camping, so we've got a lot of staff here who have never done that before, and that's what was chosen to do for our end of year.
Where are you camping?
Kaituki. Beautiful spot. It's gonna be lovely. So I've just got a few notes here, and I will probably refer to them a little bit. So I've told you a little bit about how the business started. So it was set up by Alicia and a team of people. We've actually got someone Shannon, who was there in the beginning as well, here today, which is really great to have her. We haven't seen her for a few years. And Alicia had been working as a lawyer, and she was volunteering at the Red Cross Refugee Resettlement Program. And she realised that the women that were coming in, who were this really cool group, and often were the driving force of people leaving their home countries, were sort of getting left behind when really integrating into the community because of traditional gender roles, gender pay gap, the way families are traditionally set up. They were often the ones staying at home and minding the children and not really progressing with their English enough to really sort of get into the nitty-gritty in the community. So she set up Nisa to help give people a space that they could come in, learn language a bit more, where we're a bit more understanding and accepting of time things will take to sort of work on that. So Nisa was set up and began in 2017. I came on as the production manager in 2018, and since then we've had about 35 women come through. We've had some amazing success stories, particularly in the last week actually. We've had 5 staff and family members graduate or sit their state finals. They haven't got their results yet, sit their state finals in nursing. So I'm just so super proud of that. And there is a thread that sort of runs through Nisa is not only helping to navigate through just everyday stuff, but things that are really tough, things like StudyLink, when English is your second language, when English is your first language. It's really hard to navigate, right? So I'm sure a lot of us have been through it, and it is not a great time. So helping to navigate through that, and through like the university education system, and things that will make it easier, just giving advice. So we're super proud of staff and family members that have gotten in and done that. It's that is like a huge success story for us. We've also had staff members buy houses in the last few years, which as someone who doesn't own their own home, I'm just thrilled to bits for them. So since 2018, we sort of trundle along as a business, and we make fantastic underwear. I'm really proud of the products we make. So I've got a background in apparel and fashion manufacturing and design. So the garments that we make, we're super proud of. They are designed to last. So we don't want people buying underwear that, which is the highest turnover worn out garment in people's wardrobes. So we don't want people buying cheap underwear that goes to landfill every 6 months. We've got our briefs to a point we think they hold up for 2 years of being worn once a week. So we use a really high quality cotton spandex that is knitted in Melbourne. Unfortunately, New Zealand doesn't have any mills left, so that's sort of the closest place we can get it. It's then sent to our fabulous cutters who are in Auckland. So that's the port it would come into anyway. It doesn't come straight to Wellington, unfortunately. It goes to Auckland. So we have a cutter in Auckland who cuts it for us. It's all cut by computer, comes down to us, and then we sew it up here, which is awesome. So we have, in every part of the step, we are trying to eliminate waste. We're trying to get consumption as low as we can through extending the life of our products wherever we can. So we're trying to use less waste or create less waste along our journey. And when we took over the business last year, we decided that that was something we were going to focus more on. So we're doing something, or by the end of 2025, our aim is to be a zero waste pattern maker. Zero waste pattern making, if you guys I'm sure have seen people cut out patterns, and there's all those little gaps in between, and that's just waste. So that's how fabric is cut out commercially. And if you think of all the waste that comes from that, apparel and fashion manufacturers usually waste between sort of about 13 and 20%. We were sitting at 12%, and that is quite a volume when we're going through, you know, thousands of meters a year. It's a lot of fabric that is just going to landfill or to try and be recycled, and recycling in New Zealand isn't as good as it could be. So what we wanted to do is really sort of lean into creating less waste. So we are employing this zero waste pattern making technique. And what that means is you create patterns that tessellate into each other so that there is no space wasted. The bonus of this is not only does it lower our carbon footprint because we will be bringing in less, we'll be creating less waste. It's one of those things that has just a flow-on effect. It also helps the business saving money as well, which at the moment is a really big thing. So we've faced a lot of challenges in the last year. Since taking over, we had really flooded our customer base in the close down sales. I mentioned before we sold 18 months worth of stock in a very short period of time. But then we also did a Pledge Me campaign to restart the business. And in the Pledge Me campaign, it was a lot of 3 packs were sold. So it was like a pre-order. And it just meant we had flooded the market and sold 2 years worth of stock at the end of the Pledge Me campaign. So being a year in, being that the economy has really taken a bit of a dive in that time, it has been a really challenging time. So what we've done is absolutely streamlined the business so that we have a really lean production process. So we hold very, very, very small amounts of stock, and we really only make up when something's ordered. So on our website now, it is a 2-week lead time for your products to be dispatched, and that's because we're making them up, because we don't want to be overproducing and having stuff there that's not selling. If it's not selling, we don't remake it. We're only making the things that are really on the heading out the door. And in the struggles that we've had in the last year, the other thing we've really focused on is our community and the community around us, and getting everyone involved. Everyone that sort of comes across Nisa really wishes us well. We've got some massive Nisa supporters actually here with us today. The lovely Lynn and Fiona, who was sort of instrumental in setting this morning up today with me. They're great supporters of ours. Everyone wishes us well, but not everyone needs to buy undies, right? So we, like I say, we don't want to be pushing overconsumption, so we've been doing things to get our community involved with us. and they really are such a rich part of Nisa, or what makes Nisa so special is we have people who are really, really invested in seeing how the business progresses and wanting the best for us, which is really cool. So we've been running events. I don't know if anyone here is interested, but we run movie nights. We have the Nisa Lo-Fi Cinema, which is, if you look over the back, there's our screen up there. So we clear all the machines out, put some sofas in, and we showed the Ship Proper Scene, which is a movie by Patagonia about the destruction of the world through overconsumption, but in a light-hearted way. So we show sort of educational stuff like that. We've also been trying to get the community more involved through running things like we had a menopause workshop, running different kinds of workshops. We also have a program where we donate to local charities or national charities. So we like to support the Social Supermarket in Newtown, which if you haven't heard of, fantastic initiative by the Wellington City Mission, where people in need can go in and choose the things that they need rather than being given a food parcel. And we thought, you know, supermarkets in New Zealand all sell undies, so and it's something that often people forget about, and it's something, you know, when you put on some nice undies, get yourself ready for the day, it does give you a bit of a boost and make you feel really good. So it's we've got that running as well. We also support Foster Hope, Shark Tea, and the Women's Refuge with some small donations from us. We've got a campaign running for Black Friday where we don't buy into that, but we are matching every pair of donation briefs bought for the next week. We're matching those. So we get the community involved in sewing those. So we have a bunch of volunteers. You can sign up on our website if anyone wants to come in and do some sewing. And I'll take you through and teach you how to sew a pair of briefs and get you sewing briefs to donate. So it's a really fun day where you get to just come in, hang out, sew with some people, and it's always a really great bunch of people. So I would encourage you, if that's your kind of vibe, do pop in or jump on the website and sign up. We also run workshops, make your own swimwear workshop, make your own briefs, make your own bra, and make your own t-shirt, where I will teach you how to do all of those things. Sewing is a bit of a forgotten art, and it's something we would really like to push it, just to give people confidence that they can start doing it more at home. So you can sign up for those on the website as well. So that's the building that we've been doing in this year of kind of really building our community. And they're so supportive and encouraging for us. What we've got coming up in the next year is, once that economy starts to turn, we're going to do a bit of a push for growth. So we want to have another sort of 8 staff hired by the end of next year. And then we've got some cool things coming up within that year. So we're going to get B Corp certified. Who hasn't heard of B Corp certification? So B Corp certification, B Lab has a certification that you can sign up to, and it will look and assess, I think it's 5 or 6 areas across the business. Basically, give you a certification saying you're for good, you do good for your workers, the environment, the community, governance, and something else. But they give you a certification. So Untouched World, just down on Willow Street, Kathmandu, and a couple of, there's a few others around, so there's 140 in New Zealand, and it's just a certification saying we are doing good. It's our world recognised, so that's coming up. We're having our growth, and we're really wanting to take over the world one pair of briefs at a time. And I'll just finish up this kind of chat by saying, like, I think in these times of trouble, it's so important, and when you're starting a business, that you really weave in all the good things that you need along the way, especially when it's hard. Because as we've really found, like, when it's hard, having that community around you, it really does offer such a great support network. And you know, if things start to unravel, there's someone there to lean on and hopefully link back up with. Before we finish, I'll just take you guys on a quick tour through the building. So this is our staff room over here. We've got the office dispatch area. Ignore this bit of chaos. This is me. Come on round, guys. And then this is the production area. So we work in something called single unit flow here, and it's something that only the top 5% of apparel manufacturers in the world use. What single unit flow is, it's a lean way of manufacturing. So once we start selling something, the traditional way that apparel manufacturers work is they work in something called the bundle system, where someone will be given 100 pairs of jeans and they might sew 100 pockets or 100 zips or do 100 hems. Once they finish those, they will pass that batch of 100 on to the next person. What we do here, so this is currently set up as our brief sewing line. We have someone at the first station and they're manning these two machines, and what they do is they first off sew the gussets to the briefs. Then they come over to this machine, they sew the leg elastics on, so around the legs. Then it's passed straight to this machine where the side seam is sewn and the waist elastic, isn't in spot. Then the waist elastic is put on, the other side seam is sewn. It's passed and to this one who the waist is tacked, the leg is bar tacked, and then it is folded here, threads are trimmed, and it's put into stock. So we don't have any stock that is sitting around waiting for the next process. It comes onto the line, 12 minutes later it comes off the line as a finished garment. And that's how all of our products are made. Not only does it cut down in timings, but it also picks up any imperfections that could make it a second. So we don't want to be creating seconds. We want everything to be a first that can be worn and sold. So when we implemented single unit flow, we went from being a 0.5% second rate to a 0.002% second rate. So the only thing that makes it through as a second is if there is a flaw in the fabric, which is really cool. So if anything is not quite right, the person in the front will look at it and go, oh, that elastic's up, yeah, oh, it looks a bit dodgy. Take it off, pass it back to the person before, and it will be fixed then and there. So it's a really, really amazing process. And the great thing about doing things in single unit flow, it means that it makes our training really easy and effective. We train people on one machine at a time when they come in, and often English language is a little bit low. So we show them what to do, we get them up to speed on that one, and we do something called balancing the line so that the rest of the team is doing the jobs that take the same amount of time as the first job. So no one sort of feels stressed out or under pressure, and it's a really effective way of working. And that, my friends, is sort of the threads through Nisa. Does anyone have any questions?
When's the next Sew Your Own Swimwear?
It will be early next year. And we ask people to bring along like their favourite thing they want to replicate or the things that they like. Look out on the website.
Cool. And how much do they cost generally?
The
So your own.
they're I'm
Just roughly, just ballpark.
$280, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and it's a 5-week course.
Cool.
Is there like closed loop recycling, sort of, once a garment's been?
So what we do with recycling, so we have a recycler actually who've just moved in out the back. We've got a little yellow bird. So they recycle our stuff, but the things we can't recycle are our elastics. Unfortunately, customers that we have surveyed are not ready to go back to non-elasticated undergarments. So until they are, and until we find a better option, our elastics are just cut off and they have to be landfilled, unfortunately. Any of our pre-consumer waste, so all those little bits of scrap between the bits that are cut out, they are recycled as well, and so the bulk of our garments are. The bits that we can't recycle at the moment, so our nylons, so our nylon activewear, swimwear and bits on one of our ranges have a bit of mesh in them. We're taking back, and in the hope that within the next couple of years we can find somewhere that's recycling. It's evolving all the time, there's new innovation, so we're hopeful that we'll be able to send that off soon.
And your elastic, does that come from Melbourne as well?
Our elastic doesn't. Our elastic comes from a fantastic.
Does it come from Levin?
It
by
doesn't.
chance?
No. So that the Cordals who are in Levin, their elastic is basically designed to fill a gap in the industry that was more for like sportswear.
Okay.
So it's chunkier, and they don't quite have the machines to make the fine enough stuff. So we get ours from Portugal. We've got a beautiful little family-run business over there that's all eco-certified, and they make it up for us. Yeah. Any other questions?
I notice your products have names.
They do.
Is there a story behind them, or is it a random?
There are stories behind all of them, and they are all a little random. So going from people who may have been involved at a time to the Jules men's brief was named after Jules Taylor, who gave us, the winemaker, who gave us a significant contribution to buying some machinery. For that, to the Beatrice activewear leggings are named after Beatrice Farmerwear, because she is a hero of mine, and she always wears like shorts and looks epically hot in them, so that's who they're named after. And so they're all kind of named after just people who are around, friends of ours, family members. Yeah.
So cool.
Anyone else? I think that's it. Thank you all so much for coming along. If anyone wants to do any shopping while you're here, feel free to, and you do get a 20% discount off any Nisa stuff while you're here. But thank you all so much for coming. It's been lovely talking to you this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pam, for sharing your journey, and this is so amazing to see.
Oh,
fantastic.
Yeah, buy some stuff, man. It's really good quality, and I wear it pretty much all the time. So big fan.
Yeah.
For all of you folks, we'll see you in the new year. We haven't locked in a date for our January event yet, but obviously have a very Merry Christmas, summer, New Year, all those things. Stay safe, wear sunscreen. Love you lots. Bye.
You, Pam, because you've breathed such life and heart into Nisa, and it's so wonderful seeing all your newsletters and what you're doing. It's added a whole extra dimension to the business. So.
Oh, thanks, Liz. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that, so thank you.
Another clap for Pam.